Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your MTN Statewide News this Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, across Montana this noon, a jump in confirmed coronavirus cases. 6 of those 8 new cases out of Bighorn County. Well, health authorities say they expect more to come. The latest 6 are 2 boys between the ages of 10 and 19, a man in his 60s, and 3 women ranging in age from 30s to 60s. Now, these individuals were tested last week. Bighorn County leaders also today giving a heads up that they tested more than 1,600 residents over the last 2 days in sentinel surveillance testing and say as test results are confirmed, quote, we anticipate additional confirmed positives in Bighorn County. Now that statement goes on to say that these cases represent people who live, work and shop in every area of our county, including major towns. Well, the other 2 confirmed cases across Montana today, a Gallatin County woman in her 20s and a Missoula County man in his 60s. Now, these 8 cases bring the state to 28 active cases. 2 of those individuals are in the hospital. Well, whenever a vaccine for COVID-19 becomes available, the White House is considering making it mandatory for all Americans. However, there's new concern surrounding the search for a vaccine. Some of the biggest pharmaceutical companies say a shortage of glass vials may slow down production of the shots. They're even exploring the possibility of putting several doses of a vaccine into vials that normally hold just one. More than 100,000 deaths have now been attributed to COVID-19 across the U.S. Well, the Blackfeet tribe will keep its doors shut until June 30th. All of the same restrictions still apply. Those include curfew from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. and reduced hours for alcohol sales Monday through Thursday and closed Friday and Saturday. The east entrance of the reservation is also closed to travelers trying to get to Glacier National Park.
With the openings around us, you know, people are coming in from out of state and all of that and out of area to visit. We're just wanting to keep our people safe here on the Blackfeet Nation and make sure that we stay healthy and away from COVID.
The tribe is also warning people on the reservation to watch out for scammers calling in asking for birth dates and social security numbers, saying they have COVID test results. Well, it's now time to check in with meteorologist Ed McIntosh. And Ed, it is a beautiful day out there.
The temperatures are warming up, but by the time we get into the weekend, anything goes. Let's take a look and see, because we could have some record high temperatures here over the course of the next few days. Missoula tomorrow within a couple degrees of your record. By Friday or by Sunday, Billings, Miles City, Sheridan, Wyoming. Again, the forecast highs within reach of setting records, but at the same time, some threat of thunderstorms. That's in the green shaded areas from south of Missoula through northern Wyoming for today. By tomorrow, that'll shift from northwest Montana all the way down through south central Montana, especially favoring some of the higher elevations, and it moves off into the plains by the time we get into Sunday under all that heat. Closer look at the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Ed. Well, although coronavirus restrictions have started to lift, the financial burdens created by its harsh impacts have not. In order to help those in need of financial relief, Congress passed a coronavirus farm assistance program. It allows the U.S. Department of Agriculture to purchase and distribute agricultural products to those in need. Salvation Army of Great Falls started distributing produce boxes packed full of veggies and fruits, free for absolutely anyone in need. Now, the boxes will be available every week through October. In order to continue these distributions, the Salvation Army will need to borrow a refrigeration truck. If you would like to lend or donate funds in that Great Falls area, contact the Salvation Army directly. Well, the city of Polson says no smoking in local parks. The city commission approved the ban on tobacco use in all city parks, and signs are already popping up with hope that people obey the order. The first citation will be a verbal warning. And Missoula is joining in this nationwide list of communities in holding events following the death of George Floyd. A rally just started at noon in front of the Missoula County Courthouse. 3 people are scheduled to speak. MTN stations will have more on this story tonight. And Minnesota authorities are trying to get a handle on the escalating violence in Minneapolis. Last night, protesters set fire to a police precinct. Nicole Killian reports.
State police officers in riot gear, backed by the National Guard, moved in to secure the streets of Minneapolis as fires continued to burn in the morning hours. Last night, protesters set fire to the police station where the 4 officers involved in the arrest of George Floyd worked before they were fired. The mayor of Minneapolis ordered the building evacuated and defended his decision to let it burn.
The symbolism of a building cannot outweigh the importance of life, of our officers, or the public. We could not risk serious injury to anyone.
It was one of many fires set in the city, including this building that partially collapsed.
Holy cow.
There has also been widespread looting. Corboy Vala had to fend off looters who tried to steal the safe from his sports bar.
It's not fair, it's not right. You know, we've been working so hard for this place. You know, this is not just for me, it's for my family.
Protesters want the 4 officers involved in the incident to be criminally charged with Floyd's death immediately.
This delay seems like it's suggesting that you are going to try to sweep his death under the rug.
Minneapolis police say Derek Chauvin, the officer seen with his knee on Floyd's neck, has had 18 complaints against him in his career, but faced discipline for only 2. Protests in the wake of George Floyd's death have spread across the country, including here in Washington, D.C. And dozens were arrested during protest in New York City.
You're under arrest.
Okay. Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest, sir?
Back in Minneapolis, a CNN reporter and his crew were arrested this morning while on the air. Minnesota State Police say they were released once they were confirmed to be members of the media. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
And we have some breaking news. We have just learned that the officer who knelt on Floyd's neck has now been taken into custody. We'll have more on this later tonight on Q2. Well, right now, people collecting unemployment are getting $600 a week from the federal government. Now there's debate whether to extend those payments. The money included in the first coronavirus relief package is set to expire July 31st. But with more people out of work every week, congressional lawmakers are discussing if the payments should be extended to January of next year. As it stands, Democrats support keeping the checks flowing, while Republicans worry that much money will discourage laid-off workers from even finding a new job. Well, the U.S. is now consuming more renewable energy sources than coal for the first time in more than a century. The U.S. Energy Information Administration announced the milestone yesterday. Falling costs and environmental concerns are prompting the rise of hydro, wind, geothermal, and solar power. The last time renewable resources beat coal was in 1885, when wood burning and hydropower were popular. Well, we have more news ahead on your noon news. We will hear from a Montana mom who is spreading the word about the importance of addressing postpartum depression. The time now is 12:08, but first, meteorologist Ed McIntosh is in next with your statewide weather forecast.